you check the children. Show a little match sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
And Jaime Fuego is here as well.
And we are here to review the 2019 movie Rabid, which is a remake of the David Cronenberg Rabid, which, frankly, I've never seen, to be perfectly honest.
Unfortunately, I haven't either. I know it was late 70s, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it was way better than this one. But this one was made by the terrifying twins.
Is that what they're called?
No, I just said that because I like alliteration, and they're twins.
I do too. I'm a big fan.
Soska Sisters.
Yeah, they are.
A lot of people like them in the horror community. They did American Mary, which was good, right? Didn't they?
And they did the See No Evil 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Did they do that too?
They
That's
did,
weird.
Yeah, the one with Kane.
Did they do American
Kane
Mary?
was
I want to make sure that's
serial
correct.
killer. But they also host a horror reality show, if I'm not mistaken.
The Elevator.
That I have never personally watched.
Well, I thought they only did one season of that.
Maybe, but it was a thing at some particular point in time. But yes, as Cecil said...
Oh, they're the Twisted
yes,
Twins.
the Twisted Twins. And because I knew there was some sort of name that they have, which incorporates alliteration as well. But yeah, they're a big name in the horror
Oh, they did do
community.
American Mary. Okay, good.
Yeah.
They
not
started
just-
with Dead Hooker in a Trunk.
Oh, okay. Sounds terrific. But they did do the See No Evil 2, I'm pretty sure. With
Yes, See No
King.
Evil 2, and they did a section of ABCs of Death 2. T is for torture porn. And W is for witches. And Appear in W is for wish as witches. Okay.
Okay.
And then they did Vendetta, which was another WWE movie, and then Rabid, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that they were homies of the WWE as far as their subline of films that are of the horrific variety and stuff.
See No Evil isn't bad. It stars Kane as a slasher, a Jason-esque slasher that uses a. It's interesting. He uses a bear trap, on a chain. So he'll throw a bear trap and it'll on someone's face.
Oh, okay, so when it hits a little
exactly
bullseye in the middle.
Interesting idea.
That actually is kind of cool.
And he only uses it once or twice, but that's what I think of when I think of Kane's See No Evil character. It's just a big bald dude.
There was a kill from one of those movies, if I recall
Kane
correctly,
from WWE.
and I hope I'm not wrong, but it's where he jams a cell phone down a woman's throat,
Probably.
and it's just really ridiculous. But
he's a low rent Victor Crowley, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, now he's a politician. I don't even think he's
nothing.
Jesse Ventura, man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah,
if we're talking about wrestlers.
But yeah, so what are we talking about again?
We are talking about Rabid.
Rabid, yes. Okay, so
Remake
this
of
one
the
stars
Cronenberg
Laura Vandervoort, who is
pretty.
Gorgeous. But I didn't put together where she was from. I was like, she looks so familiar in the same way that the girl that was in Popular and Iron Man as the reporter, that same look. But Laura Vandervoort, if you didn't know, she was Supergirl on Smallville, and then she had her own series called Bitten on the CW that was a werewolf show.
I was going to ask what that was about.
Yeah, and so
it's gotta be
she was
vampire or
also
werewolf.
on the reboot of V from 2009 to 2011. She was on there as well. That had the chick from Deadpool.
Yes. Yeah.
But nonetheless,
Just.
she's gorgeous, and she plays a woman that is into fashion and a fashion designer. And she ends up having an accident after a drunken night at a bar event, and gets destroyed in a car accident that we only hear about after the fact. This just is one of the many problems I have with the Soska Sisters. They're very vain filmmakers, in my opinion, because they just had to shoehorn themselves into this movie as two twins doing coke at the frickin' club, and it's we're talking crap about another girl. It's the most vapid characters.
And it was her that they were talking to.
Yeah. It's just they're the worst. I'm just not a fan of the Soska Sisters.
It's interesting
sorry.
though, because this beautiful actress, as you mentioned, plays kind of off cast because of the fact that she's the wormy, nerdy fashion designer assistant. She is not a model. Her best friend is the one who is supposed to be
not
really
a model,
pretty.
even though
pretty
she
one.
looks like more of a
No.
model than anyone else in the freaking movie.
Terrifically, in fact, and
Them cheekbones, though.
But, yeah, but she's got like the scars and stuff from the fact that her like she was in an accident early in life, and so there's all these different factors in the fact that she was priorly scarred, and then in turn has a double down on massive scarring after this accident, and
which leads
sad.
to one of my biggest critiques for this movie. Which is I have a cat going nuts over there. He's climbing. Look, the chair is being pulled because he's climbing the back of the chair trying to get attention.
I can just hear it, so it's tripping me out. Sorry.
Thorn, come here. But nonetheless, this accident leads to one of the worst film prosthetic appliances that I've ever seen on screen. Like, so what happens is she basically wrecks her jaw and is missing the skin. A bunch of chest. She has a big, scar down the middle of her chest, but she's missing like this much of her cheek and face. And so the appliance they do has to be a full face appliance where she has to like scream through an appliance and cry through an appliance. It's normal eyes.
It well.
She sells it. She's a good actress.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's the best part of the movie. The problem is the appliance looks so ridiculous. The teeth look like they're outside of the cheek because they are, because it's a really hard thing to do unless you do the digital removal that they did for Harvey Dent,
which they chose
in
not
The
to.
Dark Knight. Yes, so they did an appliance, so the teeth are way out here, and the problem is a few times the teeth are not in the right position.
Yeah.
So the appliance is crooked, and the teeth wouldn't be that way, and it's like you can't say that, oh, it was so messed up in the accident that the teeth are facing the wrong way, because it's all of them. It looks so dumb, that appliance. It immediately took me out of the movie. And then the side view makes her look like a monkey because she's got those big, like, blown out lips because of the appliance.
And it's probably why they don't utilize it that much within
Thank God
the
they
script.
don't.
Yeah.
Thank God they don't. So after that, she undergoes a experimental surgery. We're kind of doing this review all out of order. Forgive me.
Sorry, guys.
But she does an experimental surgery which restores her face entirely.
Yeah, and it's kind of with this weird culty almost, like, I don't know. There was almost like
the doctor gives her like a protein shake. He's like, this is a very high intensity, dense protein.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't miss it. And I'm like, oh, so he just gave her blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the whole, like, it was almost ceremonial before they went into surgery for her, where dude is like putting his arms out and everything, and I mean, it was very strange to me, but it just showed the like very off-center frame of thinking that is going on from this particular place, and yet it's a beautiful facility. It's like this remote mansion, presumably in Canada. I don't know, but
so she gets her face reconstructed, and what ends up happening is she starts to have a craving. Very much like a vampire, except it's a craving for human flesh. And
reminder, she's a vegan, too.
And she's a vegan.
I know. Throw that in there.
Yeah, great. Okay. But nonetheless, it's about her balancing her hunger with becoming a successful fashion icon and designer, because she's like having these weird dreams that are messing her up. And it's just, it's so silly. And I feel like, as two men, we might not be who this movie was meant for. I think that's probably the same with American Mary as well. I liked American Mary much more than this, but this is a movie about a fashion designer and how getting her face reconstructed turns her into essentially a zombie at times, a ravenous, blood and flesh seeking zombie, a la iZombie, more than anything else.
But it's almost more like a conflicted vampire of sorts, and the fact that like
she doesn't want to feed on humans.
Doesn't want to, and yet she feels this inherent urge that is undeniable. So what do you do in that situation? I mean,
and so it's such a weird thing. Like, I liked aspects of this movie. I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Did too.
I liked aspects of it. I liked the main actress. I liked how things progressed, and I did actually like the fact that she was in fashion, and like her best friend is a model, and so they're kind of making it together. And then like, how does this, because she starts essentially an outbreak, which is very apropos for nowadays, quite honestly.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's a rabies outbreak. It's a rabies outbreak,
or so they classify it.
Or so, right, hence Rabid. And so it seems like an outbreak of an extreme form of rabies, and so it's very don't spread, and it is very appropriate for nowadays,
but
accidentally on the filmmaker's part.
Yeah, but her being patient zero, she is of an
Doesn't realize
elevated essence too, because she has a
Smart,
lot more.
She's a
going
smart,
on.
accidental.
Well, I mean, like she
patient zero.
Yeah, exactly. And she is more developed, and there's a lot more going on with like other stuff with her, like some of the other kills that we get later on in the film, especially the one in the alley. You know,
she's a carrier monkey that's losing control.
Yeah, truly. But I mean, since we covered both kind of story and overall thoughts here, I didn't hate this movie. There were times where I found myself starting to hate it, but then it like redeemed itself. There's
I mean, when the Soska Sisters came on?
Yeah. And then being keeping in the WWE family and everything, there is a CM Punk cameo,
too.
You know, which is
by the way, I watched his Girl on the Third Floor movie,
and I've heard it's not bad.
It's not good
it's
either.
Not good,
He's
though.
the worst part of it. And it really focuses on him, so it's not.
Well,
great.
he's the lead character in it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got straight edge tattoos, and he's drinking and stuff, and it's like, come on, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
the tattoos
anyway,
are permanent. The alcohol.
At least he's not in it long. At least that I can recall.
Without spoiling stuff. No, he's in it for about a scene.
But nonetheless, this movie, it has pluses and it has minuses. It's not the most originally directed movie. Obviously, they're not the most original creators. They're terrible when they insert themselves into the movie.
They're remaking a classic. What I mean, a lot of people consider
it makes me want to watch the
Cronenberg
original.
Classic.
It makes me want to watch the original now. Yeah, 100%. Because there's like, I wonder if all the positives are like the carryovers from the original.
It's
They
early
might
Cronenberg.
very well be.
I mean, being pre-70s, it's pre-scanners, it's pre-fly.
I still haven't seen Videodrome.
Videodrome. It's before all of those.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know, we'll have to give it a try because this is not doing justice to this idea. Yeah, no.
I mean,
so why don't you guys let us know in the comments down below? Did you waste your time and money on? I mean, did you watch Rabid? Let us know in those comments. I'd be curious to know what y'all think. And look, I understand that this might sound like I just have an axe to grind with the Soska Sisters. I quite liked American Mary. See No Evil 2 was generic but okay. But the Soska Sisters, I was not a fan of when I watched Elevator. And the fact that I knew that they inserted themselves as coke-doing little bitchy women, it's like, don't do that. Just extract yourselves. You're not going to become big stars by doing those little things. So just stay out of it. Make your movie. Don't bring people out of it because we know who you are. You're ruining your movie by doing stuff like that. I'm sorry.
It's almost going to take the average audience member out who has watched Elevator or has
if
watched
anyone
else.
is familiar with you, you might think it's like a clever homage, but you're
like
focusing on yourselves. How could they not?
Stephen King cameo.
It's like, well, not even a cameo. It's like him writing himself a scene in every movie that he's ever done. It's just so frustrating, and it pulls you out of the movie immediately. Just stop doing that. Let your movies speak for themselves. I don't even remember if they cameoed in American Mary, but I remember liking American Mary way more than this.
Yeah, it does.
So.
Like just last thoughts though. It does do some very weird things in the finale, and the ending tries to be like a dark finale.
Does it?
Of
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
where it's just like, it's not over yet, blah blah kind of thing, and I was just like. It was like, okay.
Well, I mean, it's a spreading disease. Those are easy endings to do. But nonetheless, Rabid was just okay, you guys.
Just okay, not terrible. Had some interesting ideas.
Has terrible parts, but also has good parts.
And I hated.
And the main actress,
too,
Laura Vandervoort, was really good, even though the appliance was terrible.
Yeah, even if her costume designs were terrible. Like when we finally see that fashion
show. You didn't like that? I kind of like the
fashion
costume
show
design,
that they put together for her when it finally...
bloody peacock.
It just was. I don't know. Am I in Zoolander? I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's kind of how I felt.
So let us know what your thoughts are in those comments down below, you guys. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss reviews like this going forward. While you're down there, there is a link to our Patreon in the description box, rather, so you can become a patron and tell us movies like this to watch and review or commentate on if you want.
Yeah.
So thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
And gracias a Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared. Sorry, Soska Sisters.
Seeing them Soskas in the bathroom? Don't do that blow.